There's a lot of things changing right now, and we're doing things differently. We acknowledge that God is the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. He is our rock and our refuge and our sure source of strength and guidance. But meanwhile, we're in a very changing day and age. Things have been shifting in our culture for a number of decades, and the church is learning how to do things differently. We can't keep doing it as we've always done it, and now in this particular time, we're learning a lot. How to be in contact with each other. Maybe we're reading scripture differently. Maybe we're praying differently. Students and teachers are learning how remote education functions. Healthcare workers are trying desperately to figure out the best way to manage care and adapt without as many surgeries. Sometimes they're learning and teaching new skills. Auto workers are learning how to make ventilators. We're finding different skills relevant for our day and age, and maybe it's a way of waking up. But that process of learning can be exhausting. If you ever try to learn a language or an instrument, you know that it takes discipline. It takes time and dedication, yet it's worth it. What we are learning is worth the effort to discover what we need to learn for this particular time. We're in the library right now, which is a pretty fitting setting to be in a place where we can learn and discover. On the wall here, we have a candle from Shirley Nestrick, who died in 2012. Shirley had a perception of the world that wanted to see the world illumined. She had a poet's perception, she had an artist's eye, and she had a compassionate heart. She would paint cards and send those cards to people, but all through her writing and her poetry, you would feel and experience kind of the light of Christ. We're going to take a little trip, and we're going to end up in the sanctuary, but we're going to pass by Fellowship Hall. Fellowship Hall was the original sanctuary of the church, built nearly 60 years ago. What you may not know is that on the outside of the original sanctuary are 12 marks for the 12 disciples. They are both on the outside and then also on the inside of the sanctuary. A disciple is one who is a learner, a follower of Jesus. And as these marks are facing out to the world, they're also inside the sanctuary facing in, recognizing that both our presence in the church and outside the church is important for how we grow, our determination to learn, and to be together even while we're apart. We're now heading through the gallery, and maybe you're kind of missing these rooms. You may not have been here for a little while, and so maybe it's good to see the places you became real familiar with and eventually will return to. Reverend Sharon Core sent an email to the pastors in our presbytery. She is our general presbyter. And a friend of hers who is in theater wrote, "In theater we have a tradition. Whenever the theater is empty, we are always sure to leave one light on. Typically on a stand in the center of the stage, this light is known as the ghost light. There are many stories about its origin, but its meaning is unmistakable. It means that though the theater is empty, we will return." So here's to us, the actors, the technicians, the directors, the carpenters, the designers, the dancers, the teachers, the students, the freelancers, those on tour, those at sea, the electricians, the stitchers, the makers, the stage managers, the artists. Many of us have taken big hits during the virus. Financial and emotional weights have come crashing down on our entire industry. And it's reducing to nothing but a bunch of ghost lights. But those ghost lights are temporary placeholders. They are a sign. We must be down now, but our passion, our creativity, our drive is still center stage. We will be unplugging those ghost lights in no time. Until then, here's a ghost light, and let the world know we will be back. Not only will we be back in the sanctuary, but until that time, we carry the light of Christ with us wherever we are. And I pray that that light would illumine your heart, your mind, the landscape in your home, and your neighborhood, as we together learn what it's like now to walk carrying the light of Christ wherever we are until we gather again back here.